like hell here, so my internet might get knocked out.
I got you.
Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about, have your f***ing cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
All right. What a time to be alive. Woo! We got NBA draft lottery literally minutes away. We got NHL. Well, we do got NHL, but not till a little bit later. We got Lakers versus the Nuggets tonight. The Astros are playing tonight. Everybody's playing tonight. Something is definitely going on. And to talk about it with you here on Unscripted, I got my two best analysts outside of Frankie, who is not here with us. I wish he was. But I got Gonzo from GSR. Say what's up to the people, Gonzo.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Finally feeling a little better, so ready to talk some sports.
Frankie said he's not available, but that means he's probably in the bathroom.
Even though Jay just basically said that he would rather have Frankie than me and Logan, but that'd be all right.
I know. I feel a little hurt.
No, I need each and every one of you. By the way, Logan.
Yes.
By the way, for those of you that don't know, Logan's Braves are currently playing the Rangers, who I desperately need to lose. So, Logan, babyface, number one, say what's up to the people. And number two, do not let me down.
Well, first off, I will do my best. First off, what's going on, everyone? Happy Tuesday out there. And Jay, we took care of business last night, 12-0 shutout. So hopefully we can get some more of that action going on tonight for the Braves. And my goodness, we have a lot to talk about. Like you said, NBA, NHL, and a lot of other just stuff going on in the world, man. It's a fun time.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, guys, do not forget, please, if you don't know what our times our shows are, if you forget that it's Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 1. Right now, the Saturday shows are suspended until I get back in June. But definitely Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch us on Unscripted Guys on Twitter, all one word. Unscripted Sports on TikTok and YouTube. And then Unscripted on Facebook. Those are all the platforms where we put up-to-date information as well as our shows. And lo and behold, I asked him to come out of the bathroom. I asked him to get his butt on the show, and here he is, folks. I'm going to introduce him properly. Oh, you may have heard Showtime is back. You may have heard that James Worthy was in the building. You may have heard that Kobe Bryant's aura is all over Denver Nuggets Forum. I give to you the presenter of this respected franchise on our show. He's magical, sometimes whimsical, but he's always truthful about
it. We didn't get this.
I give to you.
Oh, I know.
Frankie Lake Show.
What's going on, everybody?
Hi, Frankie.
I love it when Jay gives me a proper introduction.
I know, right? I'm about to say, me and Chris are feeling slighted here, Jay. We better get we better get our restitution on Thursday.
Hey, listen, you know what? This man has gotten on board with my Dallas Stars, and I have gotten on board with his Lakers.
Oh, that's why.
And so, you know what? It's just brother supporting brother. Don't take it personal. Y'all still love each and every one of you guys. Although I will say this, Gonzo, you're my friend. You're always my friend.
Golly,
your daddy.
Your dad's going crazy in the comments, Chris.
your daddy, Tony,
Good Lord.
as they said on Talladega Nights, this be war.
Oh, yeah.
God, what a time to be alive.
Hey, Logan, who's your hockey?
Me, I got Carolina.
Oh, he's still in it.
I'd say me and Jay are the ones left in it just chilling.
I'm rooting for Carolina now.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Tony, for someone who doesn't like when we're on the afternoon blitz, we're talking shit to each other. Stop talking shit on the comments. All right, if you're gonna say something, you come on the camera and you say it to us. Don't be a Damien. Don't be a Damien.
don't be a Mickey. Hey, Jay, let's get into it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Frankie, we're gonna do a little bit of different. I know typically I would always open up with the opening, breaking news, then go on. But this time we're doing a little different. We're gonna talk about both the playoffs, and then we're gonna get talking about these coaches at the end of it all. So that's just kind of how we're gonna roll tonight. Again, we're talking about the NBA playoffs, guys, and I got to be honest with you. Out of all of us here on the show, Frankie's the only one that's truly got a horse in the fight. So I'm not even gonna set this up for Frankie. Normally, I would set you guys up with some info and then get your opinion, but I'm gonna let Frankie have all the time to say everything that he wants to say about the Lakers versus the Nuggets.
Oh, right now?
Yes.
No, tomorrow, Frankie.
I thought you were gonna say something and then come to me with
Oh no, I just told you. Normally I would set you up, but I want to give you maximum time, Frankie. I want you to have maximum shows.
I'm not gonna take too much time. I'm just gonna say Lakers in 6.
Okay.
Joker's gonna get bullied by AD, just like a 2020 rematch. Where AD bullied Joker. The one difference is that AD doesn't have big men to help him out in the bench. In 2020 he had Dwight Howard and he had JaVale McGee. This year around he doesn't have those two players. So hopefully when he gets off the bench, Rui Hachimura could step up big. Wayne Gabriel could step up big. Mo Bamba coming back out of injury. Hopefully he steps up big. So we got some players that could help him out. I'm just not 100% sure that they're gonna step up like they did with Dwight Howard or JaVale McGee. But hey, I feel like Lakers are going to get a win today. We're underdogs today. They are 6-point favorites. And if everybody knows, we were underdogs in the first 2 series.
Mm-hmm.
And LeBron James loves when he's an underdog because he loves to prove people wrong. And me and Jay has been, riding this out. And we've been saying if we could get one game in Denver or if we could get one game on the road, that changes the whole dynamic of this series. And I'm telling you right now, I feel like the Lakers are going to get one.
All right.
Yeah. So Logan, he is very correct on everything that he said about what me and him have been talking about. I told him, I said, look, you guys just took out the defending champs. You took out probably one of the best coaches right now in the league, and Steve Kerr. They did go 7, but it doesn't matter how many you go, as long as you come away with a W.
They went 6.
6, 7. He's posh. Leave it alone.
I'm just saying.
Go with it. Okay, 6. Okay.
We got to be accurate here, Jay. Come on.
The whole point of what I'm saying about it is, and me and Frankie have been talking about this, they've got to go into Denver and basically punch them straight up in the nose. I always say, if you want to take down your opponent, you hit him in the nose as hard as you can. And when that dude has got water boiling up in his face and he can't see, you hit him in the nuts, hit him in the knees, and then take one more to the kidney, and he's down. That dude ain't getting back up. And that's exactly what the Lakers have got to do to the Denver Nuggets. They got to go in there, hit that dude in the face, and then keep on applying the pressure. Do not pull an Atlanta Falcons 28-3 and then only to let up off the gas pedal and watch your dreams fade away into the sunset. No, you got to keep your foot on that throat the entire time. Because let me be honest with you, Frankie, we talked about this. Joker ain't playing around. He's shooting 63%. This man is playing like everything he is, a true MVP. Everything. Last 10 games, 63%. However, in a comma, let's not overlook what the Lakers are doing. Davis is giving you a solid 25-12. LeBron's giving you a good 23-9. Both teams are healthy. The bench, Hachimura, Lonnie Walker, Those guys are Schroeder. All these guys have been playing well. They've got to continue to play well to match up with the brown, the green, and the brawn, the bench from Denver. Logan, I've said this. It's going to be three battles. One is Steve Kerr versus Darvin Ham. That's battle number one. What coach can outcoach the other? Number two would be
happened. Steve Kerr's out.
I know I said Steve Kerr. I meant to say Michael Malone. I'm sorry. My brain is still kind of wrapped up in that Golden State series. Michael Malone versus Darvin Ham. Who can outcoach the other? The number two battle is down low in the paint. Can AD cancel out Joker, putting the rest of it on the onus of Denver's bench, Michael Porter Jr. and Murray? Can he do that? And then number three, it's just a straight battle of the bench. It's always been a battle of the bench. Whose bench can outperform the other? And I think those are the three criteria. I got Lakers in 7. Frankie, I'm sorry. I know I just feel like in my gut it's going to go 7. But at the end of the day, I do have the Lakers taking it to the Western or to the actual finals and then playing whoever comes out of the East. But Logan, man, wow, what a time to be alive, man. What's your thought process before we get in or before the game actually comes on at 8:30? I believe it is 8:10.
And you brought up a good point, Jay. I mean, it's going to be the battle of the stars, obviously, with Jokic, LeBron, Davis, Murray in there. I know he's questionable again. He had that illness. They did list him as questionable. I'm sure he'll play. Like I said, the coaching with Ham and Malone. Obviously, Malone is one coach of the year. Ham done a good job this second half of the season, really getting his team rallied. And then, like I said, the bench I think is the biggest parts of just the playoffs. I mean, we saw Phoenix didn't have much of a bench, and they were a favorite to get all the way to the finals. They got knocked out last round. Sixers, they were a favorite. They got knocked out last round. So it's really just which bench is going to step up for you. And, the Lakers have had some guys step up here lately. Frankie mentioned, as you mentioned, Jay, in the last series against Golden State with Hachimura, with Schroeder, a couple other guys too. Like I said, Frankie said, with Bamba coming back, that's going to help them out defensively. Plus, I mean, I think it's going to be a good matchup. But I think, like I said, game one we got tonight. I got the Lakers winning this one. I think that they just got too much momentum with them right now. I think they got the hot hand, and I think they'll carry that into game one.
Absolutely. Chris, I'm going to give you a stat here, but it's not going to be an accurate stat. The stat is they're 2-2. Each has won 2 games in the season. However, as you know, the Lakers are a revamped team. They don't even look like the same Lakers team the last time Joker met Westbrook in that last game, which went down 122-109. For those of you that don't remember, in favor of the Nuggets, this is a revamped Lakers team. How do you see it playing out?
Oh, and AD was hurt. I just want to throw that in there. At the time, AD was hurt.
There you go.
I think it's going to be the best series that we've had in the playoffs so far. I think these are the best 2 teams that we've had playing against each other so far in the playoffs. I like the matchup. I'm going with Denver in 7, but I think it's going to be an awesome series to watch. Both teams have benches.
No.
Both teams have benches.
Hey, no, hey, listen, hey, you got. Hey, the man's speaking his truth. My question is this, guys. Before we get into the Heat Celtics, there's a couple of ways I look at this. I think it'd be awesome to see the Heat beat the Celtics and come up from that number 8 spot. Given all the things that they've been through, all the people that have been hurt and so forth, the fact that they're just kind of rising out of the ashes like a phoenix to come back to the finals. That's a huge storyline. Only to meet another number 7 team who came out of the ashes via the trade. So what better storyline than 2 Phoenixes written off for dead going at it in the finals? That's storyline number 1. Storyline number 2 is, man, I missed that Magic Johnson-Larry Bird connection in the finals. What better way than to see a Tatum, Brown versus AD and King James? I'm just saying, either storyline is amazing. But Heat Celtics. Heat Celtics, man. What is your opinion, Gonzo?
I think the Celtics are going to win the series. I just don't think the Heat are going to have enough. Jimmy Butler has been awesome, but I've been saying that all playoffs, and they keep winning. So hey, maybe they'll be able to pull out another one. I think whoever wins out of the Nuggets and Lakers are probably going to win the championship. The Celtics are so inconsistent to me. One game Tatum will put up 55, next game he'll put up 8. He just hasn't been consistent enough. Where the Lakers and the Nuggets have been pretty consistent the whole playoffs. So I think the winner of that series is probably going to win it all. But I think the Celtics are just going to be a little too deep for the Heat in this series. I'm going to say Boston in 6.
Chris, let me tell you this. I'm going to ask you this real quick. And you got every right to keep your honest opinion or not. Tyler Hero comes back game 2 for the Miami Heat. Does that change or does that have an impact on flipping it in Miami's way?
That's a good point.
That is a good point. If he comes back, I do think that gives Miami a lot better chance. I don't know if I would go with Miami as my pick, but that does make a difference. That's something I hadn't really thought of. I know he's not coming back. He wasn't going to be back on Thursday, right?
He's coming back game 2.
Game 2.
Yeah,
that could make a big difference. That's 20, 25 points that you could be getting.
And also, Tyler Hero has not played in a little bit.
If he comes back and can play at the level he was playing at in the regular season,
that's not what I was talking about. Yeah,
I'll go with I would go with the Heat in 7.
That really is the key, right? It's not just if he comes back; it's if he comes back and he's in the zone. Like if he comes back and he's able to get into the zone, get into that shooting rhythm because he hasn't played in a little hot minute. If he can come back in that zone, that is huge. If he comes back and struggles to get into the zone, then that could also be huge. It just depends on what version of Tyler Hero we're getting when he does come back. But either way, it's gonna be phenomenal to watch. Logan, let me ask you this, man.
What's up?
Again, 2-2. The Heat and Nuggets are 2-2, man. But again, like as you know, so Hero still come back game 2. Oladipo is not coming back. The game is in Boston. Lowry, Love, Martin, I have identified as those are the 3 guys that have got to step up and take the pressure off of Bam Adebayo in the paint and take it off of Jimmy Butler out on the perimeter or when he goes to the cut. You got to take the pressure off these guys. They cannot just be a 2-man show. They've got that bench has got to continue to do what they did in the last season with the Knicks and the season prior before that. They've got to continue to have that good, solid bench play to have a shot at the 3-headed monster known as Smart, Tatum, and Brown. What do you think?
No, yeah, you brought up a good point. So, like you said, with Tyler Hero coming back, I think that does help out Miami through game 2 and beyond. But I'm going to go with Chris's point in the beginning before he flipped. I just think the Celtics are just the better team. I think that, like you mentioned, Jimmy Butler has done a tremendous job carrying, put the team on his back. But I don't know if that's going to continue because Boston, like I said, it's a good Boston team. Like I said, we got a rematch of the 2020 Western Conference Finals and Eastern Conference Finals. Same teams, but a lot different. So, like I said, Tatum, Brown, Smart, they've still been there since then. They've grown, they've matured, they've gotten faster, smarter, and all that. Same with the Heat. They've added some few pieces, but I think that as a squad, I think the Celtics are a little bit better. I think Jimmy's going to have a phenomenal series, though. All in all, he's going to get his points. He's going to get his buckets. But I think that Tatum, like you mentioned, he has been inconsistent lately. But when it came up, when it mattered the most, he came up clutch, though. Both in the game where he scored the 18-19 points in the fourth quarter, and then also in the closeout game where he just absolutely took over and put up over 50. So I think that as a team, I think Boston does have a little bit better bench as well, as opposed to Miami. So I'm going to go Boston in 6 for my prediction.
Hey, I just want to do a shout out to, again, Tony, Anthony Price. Love you, brother. Damien, love you too, man. I know you got some crazy comments, but you're still part of the fam. And Billy Buzz Smith, what is up, my brother? He says, go Celtics, man. Hey, I get it, man. Let's be honest with you. I don't care what team comes out of the East, whether it be the Celtics or the Heat. I done gave you my 2 storylines that I think are phenomenal. But I will tell you this, and I hate to say this, man, because I do love the way Joker plays, and he is a true MVP. But if the Denver Nuggets are on the Western Conference side of the finals, it is going to be boring. Sorry, it's going to be boring. I think in order to give this finals the pizzazz, if you will, that we were looking for, the Lakers got to be there. The Lakers got to be there in order to keep this monumental fun or excitement, if you will. 'Cause I'm sorry, raise your hand if you think that. And I love Joker, don't get me wrong, but if you think the Denver Nuggets are exciting to watch, raise your hand, please. Sorry. There's only one Showtime, and I hate that. And I'm not trying to get on the Lakers nuts, but it's not going to be as much fun if the Lakers aren't in it, and that's just the way it is. Tony says you are a flip flopper. Stop being a flip flopper. Let me ask you this,
Jay, I think you're kind of wrong on that, because if Denver makes it to the finals, what makes that interesting is Jokic having a chance to get his first title that everybody says he has to have to prove that he's actually good.
Oh, damn.
That's how they said the same thing with Giannis.
Oh God, Christy, that's a good point, man. It's like you hit me in the private area with that one. I went to my knees. That's a good point. That's an excellent point. So I do get that. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna revise that. So yeah, that is a good storyline. Can Joker give you the ring to go along with those MVPs? So yeah.
No, stick to your
prediction. I'm still supporting the Lakers.
Tony, you gotta put Jay's a flip flopper now.
I'm not a flip flopper.
I'm not.
No. All I said. Hold on, Frank. Hold on, because I gotta address that. It's not that I'm a flip flopper. All I'm saying is that was just an alternate view to what I thought about the Nuggets. Could they make it somewhat exciting? And that is a good viewpoint. And in no way, shape, or form does it make me flounder on who I want to see in the finals. Frankie, I've already told you. I gave you 3 different reasons why I thought the Lakers should be in the playoffs. So does not take that in a different direction, okay?
Well, listen, Jay, all I want to say is keep it up. So keep saying what you're saying, because I'm literally, if everybody knows us, me and Jay never agree on stuff. Never.
No, we never
do. We like to go against each other. But I totally agree with Jay on this. If the Denver Nuggets end up going to the NBA Finals, it's going to be boring, because who's Joker going to go up against? Who's their big man in Boston? Who's their big man in Miami? Bam Adebayo is trash right now. Like what I said earlier, Sharman ultra soft. Trash.
Ultra soft.
Like, he's just trash. And then who's the big man in Boston? It doesn't matter, because guess what? It's not a big man. Nobody is the same size as Joker in Boston. So that would be easy for Joker to just dominate in the paint. It won't be a fun series. And I'll say the same thing about the Lakers if they go. If the Lakers go to the finals, it won't be fun. It's going to be fun for me, honestly. It really is going to be fun for me. But like, there's nobody's going to compare up with AD. So it truly doesn't matter who goes to the finals for the West. I just feel like nobody in the East can match up to Joker or to AD. They're just not. They're not in hate. They're not in height, and they're not in weight or even strength. I just feel like the East are not capable of matching up with the Western.
And that's the thing. I just anybody who's watched basketball, anybody who's watched the Heat, just watch the Heat and period. Everybody knows Bam Adebayo. He's not a very aggressive person. He's soft. He gets pushed around by pretty much everybody. And if I could push you around in the paint, what do you think AD is going to do to him in the paint? Come on. Or Joker, for that matter. What would Joker do to this bum in the paint? I mean, he's just soft as Sherman. It's horrible. And I think that is really the true weakness. The true weakness of the Miami Heat is Bam Adebayo. I hate to say that, but it just is what it is. Go watch the games. You'll see he gets pushed around 20 times by everybody. It's terrible. It's just terrible. Let's talk some NHL, man. We get closer and closer to the NBA draft. Oh, I hope the Rockets get that summer.
What time does it start?
I think 8.
About 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so we're gonna be out of here by then.
Oh yeah, Seattle versus Dallas. I want to talk about this little quick recap. First of all, I want to salute Mickey Delaney. He has not been in my DMs as much lately. It is good to see the Kraken go back to where the Kraken belong. It was a great game in Dallas. If you guys didn't catch that game, you missed a hell of a game. Defensively, you could not have asked more from goalie on either side, whether it be Gruber, Bauer, or whatever that guy's name is over there for Seattle, or Ottinger for Dallas. Those guys were just incredible. I can't tell you how many times and how many shots on goal, and just they would not relent. They would not give you one iota. It wasn't until damn near almost closer to the end of the second period that Dallas got their first goal. Okay, and it took a lot to get that. And there was a lot of times leading up to halftime that I really thought that they were going to go on us, and it just didn't happen. Ottinger kind of kept stepping up, and it was huge. Then you go into that third period, and this kid Hintz, I think it's how you say his last name, Hintz or Heinz. This 19-year-old kid who basically just got out of high school is getting a biggest shot of his life in the semi-conference finals. What? Wow. It was full of all kinds of moments. It was just incredibly crazy to watch. Anyway, much love, Seattle, but it's time for you to go home and bring on the Vegas Golden Knights. What a time to be alive. We're going to start at the top. Gonzo, I'm going to give you max on this. I know you're in proxy of your pops. What do you think about this Vegas-Dallas series?
The man just said he was going for Carolina. Stop that.
No, I think it's going to be a good series. I think Dallas has the advantage at goalkeeper, but I think Vegas has the advantage with their offensive weapons they have. So it's going to be interesting to see how that can cancel out each other. Vegas has a younger goalkeeper. It's not as experienced. I can't remember the Dallas guy's name. I knew his name last night. I can't remember.
Are you talking about the 19-year-old? Oh, yeah, Hintz, Hintz.
No, the other goalie.
Oh, well, Ottinger's our goalie. Gruber.
Ottinger. Yeah. I think with Ottinger, they have the advantage at goalkeeper, but I think Vegas' offensive weapons are a little bit better. I think it's going to be a real good series. I really don't have a dog in the fight. I'd like to see Vegas win just because that's my dad's team. But other than that, I don't have a dog in the fight. But I think it's going to be a real close series, and I think it's goalkeeping could come down to the goalkeeping. And I know that Vegas has a younger goalie.
You're such a daddy's boy.
Logan, man, Vegas, Dallas. How you looking?
Well, Jay, you went through one part of the expansion team, so you have to go through the other. Vegas, as we know, a couple of years ago, made it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. Couldn't close it out, though, Jay. They're hoping for some retribution against your Dallas Stars. So we'll see what they can happen, though, man. But like I said, you had a great game against Mickey. I think you even actually messaged me, Jeff. Mickey, if you did, I'm sorry. I don't check my Facebook a whole lot. But, yeah, Jesus Christ. Tony, we see your comment. We're not putting that up there. Well, never mind. Yeah.
We don't hide nothing, Logan. We don't hide nothing.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, so I think it'll be a good series though, Jay. But like I said, battle of the goalies there, you in Vegas. And it's gonna be tough though, Jay, because you know that Vegas home crowd, they are just ready to go back. So you gotta start things off on the road for you boys going out to Vegas, see what they can do on Friday. And it's gonna be a good matchup though. But I think though, Jay, you don't like it. Give me Dallas in this one.
Absolutely. You know, Frankie, Vegas, interesting stat to know. And Tony, you'll probably be happy to, and this is probably something Tony already knows, because if he's a real Vegas fan, he would know this. Vegas has 6 players from the finals team that went in 2017, 2018. So 6 players have finals experience. That's what we're going up against, Frankie. But how do you see this Dallas thing working out?
Oh man, I don't want to get in the middle of this series. I mean, I already picked Dallas to beat Seattle, and that was just because of Mickey Delaney. But like, I don't want to get into this because it's Tony versus Chris.
Hey,
no. I don't want to.
No, we're not doing that.
But you know what? Because I saw this and Tony wants to run his mouth. I'm gonna go ahead and say Dallas in 4.
Oh.
I'm just gonna go ahead and disrespect him. Just gonna say Dallas in 4.
Hold on.
I know what you're looking for, Jay. I believe in you. We haven't used it in a while. There we go. Feels good.
That is my hot take, ladies and gentlemen. The Dallas Stars, Jay's NHL team on his inaugural year, will go ahead and sweep the Las Vegas Golden Knights and send them home on another year of just pity. Just straight pity. Okay, it's not your inaugural season anymore. I congratulate you on all the success that you had on making the playoffs. But, hey, Dallas in 4, baby. Dallas in 4.
And if Frankie Lake Show says it, it is written in law. Real quick, though, Marchessault is kind of your MVP guy for Vegas, and Pavelski is the MVP for Dallas. They're really going to have their hands full, honestly, with both teams' defenses. But it's going to be interesting. The last time Dallas won a Game 7 at home was 2000, and that was during the year of the Stanley Cup.
He said Jay's happy because he knows the Cowboys ain't going to make it.
No, he didn't say Jay. He said KSY.
Yeah, I was trying to translate for him. We know Jamie falls asleep.
Hey, listen, you know that man can't spell for shit.
Yeah.
I will say one of Dallas' coach, I hope I say his name right. DeBoer is a former Vegas coach, and he improved to 7-0 in Game 7s with the last 4 teams. No, actually, I apologize. That's the Vegas coach, DeBoer. I can't ever get that guy's name right. But the interesting stat here is I'm going to go with you guys, man. I've been watching this Dallas team ever since the Wild, and they've had their backs up against the wall every damn time. They started off with a double overtime loss Game 1 against the Wild, and it was heart-wrenching and heartbreaking to see that loss. But then they came back, they fought, they did what they did, and they took it. Same thing again with the Kraken. Lost in overtime, Game 1. Very, sad to see. But again, like Domi said, D-O-M-I. Mr. Domi said about the Dallas Stars, he said, we never lose back-to-back games. We never lose back-to-back. And I swear to you, when they lost Game 6 in Seattle, I remember what Mr. Domi said. And when we came back and kicked their ass in Game 7, it just keeps going. They don't lose back-to-back. And I really think that their heart is what's going to have them take it out over Vegas. Moving on to Carolina versus Florida. Logan, you got your hands full, brother. I don't envy you one little bit. This Florida team has just risen amongst men. They took out Boston, the best team in the regular season. They took them out. They went on and they took out, I think it was the Toronto. Was it the Maple Leafs or who was it?
Yeah, it was the Maple
Leafs because you guys played the Devils. They went out and they took Toronto 3-1. I mean, these guys ain't messing around. Everybody said, oh, Toronto this and Toronto that. It's going to be an all-Canadian Stanley Cup. Well, no, it ain't. Because last time I checked, Edmonton is on their way home, and so is Toronto. Oh, no, it's going to be all-American, baby. This is all-American Stanley Cup.
I think you one person said that.
Hey, but Logan, you guys are facing a formidable defense of the Florida Panthers. How do you see it going for your Hurricanes?
Yeah, like I said, obviously, Carolina's been a pretty hot offense. But, Jay, I think the main thing here, too, is I'm going to go with what you guys talked about in the previous series. It's got to be goaltending, right? I mean, it's got to be really good goaltending. Both these teams have pretty good goalies. But Carolina, Jay, statistically, does have slightly better goalies. We got, obviously, with Anderson, he allows 1.80 goals a game as opposed to Bobrovsky over there in Florida. 2.82, Jay. I don't know about math, but I think that's one more than in Carolina. So we got that advantage there. I think, like you said, defense is tough though. Right? So it's going to be a rough series. It's going to be a good one though. But of course, I got to go with Carolina, Jay. You know this one. But I'm going to go Carolina all the way to 7. I think it's going to be a good series overall, and I'm ready for it, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what Florida can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And Panthers' last finals appearance was in 1996. The last one for the Hurricanes was 2006. This is the first playoff meeting between the Florida Panthers and the Hurricanes. So I do expect it to be extremely tough, I think. It's going to be – and again, I also want to point out something, Logan. Logan. You know what's really interesting about this series more than anything else?
What was that?
It's brother versus brother.
That's right.
That's right, man. Listen, Eric and Mark Stahl are with the Hurricanes, but their little brother, Jordan Stahl, is with the Panthers. So it's going to be interesting.
They got bragging rights.
Hey, I'm just saying, when you're sitting at the dinner table on a Sunday morning and you're both, and everybody's looking at mom and dad are like, well, listen, little Jordan, I know you lost to your brothers, but it's okay. We love you anyway. Okay, that could possibly be what happens. I don't know.
You get the smallest piece of steak in this one.
Was that your best female voice? It still sounded like a man voice.
Well, I hope so, because if it didn't, I'd be worried about myself. Again, I do want to talk about Tavarian. I hope I said his name right. Is expected back from injury. Sebastian Aho should be the X factor for Carolina. So a lot of good things are going to be in this series, and I am so excited. I cannot wait for either one of these series to start. And Logan, I am going to pull for Carolina because honestly, at the end of the day, after I'm through beating the crap out of Tony because he thinks he's going to get us in 6, I want to face you next.
Jay, hey, Jay, I'm just saying, there's something about us, man. Our teams always seem to get to the finals somehow.
I
don't know what it is, but our teams are red hot.
You took around the World Series the previous year.
Hold on, Jay.
I want my retribution.
Jay, hold on. What the hell did Logan just say? Logan, that was one goddamn time. When? Oh my God! When have the Hawks been to the? No. When have the Hawks been to the finals?
Oh, they ain't never. They've been in. I can't.
When have the Raiders been to the Super Bowl?
Not since I was 2. I was like 3.
This is your inaugural year for NHL, so I'll give it to you on that one.
I'll take it.
But you can't say there's something about our teams, Jay, because we always end up in the final. That happened one goddamn time.
Hey, I'm just saying though, Frankie. It's still one more time than the Reds, the Yankees, and all the other teams. I'm just saying.
Gonzo, I got one last thing here about Carolina. They have the advantage at goalie. Anderson, 5-0, 1.80 goals against, and an average of 0.931% save. To Florida's Bobrovsky, who is 7-2 with a 2.82 goal assist and a 9.18 save percent. Carolina is 3-0 in overtime game and have won 7 straight since 2021. I'm just saying, if the stats are in alignment, I do think as good as this Florida team is, Carolina should make it to the Stanley Cup. I hope and I think we will beat Vegas to match them in the Stanley Cup. And What a time to be alive, folks. By the way, you can catch these games. The hockey games do start up, Eastern and Western Conferences, Thursday and Friday of this week. So get your TV guide and make sure if you can't watch it that you record it because it's going to be amazing. Ja Morant. Oh, Ja Morant.
We got shooters.
If there was ever a poster boy for why we need gun control, not gun stoppage, but gun control or gun regulation, it's Ja Morant. I'm just saying. Again, if you know anything about Ja, he was suspended over a gun video. The NBA suspended Morant 2 months ago for a similar style of video. Instagram live session Morant and his friend Devontae Pack. By the way, Ja, if you're listening, stop being friends with Devontae Pack. This is the same dude that got banned from the FedEx Forum Arena because he started an altercation with the Pacers traveling party. Probably not a good guy for you to be friends with. And also, you may want to distance yourself from your pops because he can't seem to control himself in the game either. You need a whole new group of people around you, like a bunch of white Mormons. Pardon my French. Taking better care of you than what you got going on right now. I'm just saying. Again, so he's in an Instagram live session with his boy, Devontae Pack. On Devontae Pack's Instagram account, Morant is flashing a gun while driving and singing along with the rap song. The video has since been deleted. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has been deleted. Probably should have never been made in the first place. Morant went into a counseling program, as we know, in March. I guess that did a lot of good for him. After holding a gun and being intoxicated at a Denver club. Ja, you just went through counseling. You didn't get your Supermax because you didn't make the All-Star. You probably didn't make the All-Star because your mind is on other things than the game of basketball, so you had to settle for the regular max contract. What a time to be alive. Morant, Morant's friends. I tell you, man, his friends, his dad, his family, everything around him is just rotten to the core. And my belief, I'm going to end it at this. My belief is if Morant doesn't choose a better group of friends, he soon will be an X factor in this league, or he will be a deleted factor in this league and probably find himself with Dwight Howard and such in Taiwan just trying to make a dollar. What a time to be alive. Gonzo, John Morant, man, are you fed up with this guy?
I'm not fed up with him. I'm hoping the guy's young. Hopefully he can learn. Apparently he didn't learn from the first time, but in honesty, 2 months, just a couple months. How many times did he go to therapy? Maybe once or twice. So it hasn't been.
Oh, he went to that counseling program. He was there for a few weeks. I mean, he was there for a little bit.
Just a couple weeks. I mean, really, realistically, how much are you going to change in a couple weeks, Jay?
Well, you probably won't change anything if you got a crappy group of friends that have no morals or ethics around them.
I understand what you're saying because I said the same thing earlier. He needs to pick better people to hang out with, but also we can't just blame it all on his friends either. It comes back to him. He's the one that makes the choices.
Oh, of course, it always comes back to him.
So, but hopefully he can get smarter. I mean, hell, not everything should be. You don't put everything on the internet. If you want to ride around with a gun in your hand and rap, hey, by all means, go do it if that's what you want to do. But don't put the shit on social media to get yourself in trouble. I mean,
it's true, though. I mean, honestly,
everything's meant to be on social media. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I think he'll end up getting suspended. Hopefully he learns this time because apparently he didn't. But I'm not ready to write him off yet just because he's so young. And and dude's a hell of a ball player. He has to figure things out in his personal life. And sometimes you gotta change the circle of people around you. But even if he does that, if he don't change the way he's thinking, I don't think that's going to help him either because it comes down to him making the choices. So, and if you have to surround yourself by different people to make different choices, that's what you need to do. But I just hope the dude figures it out because it'd be a shame to see him waste all the talent that he has.
No, I totally agree with that, Logan. And again, I want to make clear, I'm not ready to write him off yet because he is young. But at the same time, Logan, 1, 2, 3 times. At what point, usually in the world, you have a 3 strikes and you're out type of etiquette. I know most judicial systems, if you get that 3rd strike, it's game over. You're just flat out done. You're in the big house for a long, long, long time. How many strikes are we going to give Ja before we consider it just lost cause and he goes somewhere else?
I think it's got to be 3 maybe, Jay, right? Because, look, like you mentioned, he missed out on the Supermax contract because he didn't make any of the All-NBA teams because, he was suspended for a little bit. And if I had to assume, the league didn't want to put him on there because of his off-the-court issues that he's had for the whole season. It wasn't like it was a one-time occurrence. You brought up the incident in Indiana, the gun incident, the Shannon Sharp incident also. I mean, this guy had more talked about him off the court than on the court this year, which was sad because he's such a great player. But, I mean, and that's the thing, too, is that this is something that happened 2 months ago, like just over 2 months ago. It wasn't like it was 2 years ago. That would be one thing. It was 2 months. Like you said, he went to counseling. He went to rehab. To me, it's clear that he did not learn his lessons there. And if he did, he didn't take them to heart and apply them in the real world. And look, like you said, I don't know if it's a change of friends, a change of scenery, but just look, man. We said it whenever this first happened. Either get some new friends, quit hanging out with these people, and like you said, Jay. The first time it was all on Morant because he was the one who went on and Morant was the one who went on Instagram and put that first one up. This one was on his friend. This one was on accident. But like you said, Jay, once it's on the internet, it's there forever, just like our shows. So
yeah.
And in the video, the gun in question was on there for maybe half a second, and then he moved his phone to look at the seat or something, and that was it. But yeah, look, man, you gotta be smarter than this. Do you need security to come around with you? I mean, Jay, that's the thing too. What's the point of him? You know, I understand constitutional care, all that stuff, but what's the reasoning for an NBA star to not have security and to carrying his own weapon? You don't see LeBron James doing that. You know, you never saw Kobe, Magic, Burton. You never saw any of those guys packing heat. You know, so I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. It's sad to see again. And this dude is just throwing money away left and right. I mean, the money the Grizzlies are going to give him now is going to be a fraction of what he was supposed to get. That Powerade deal he signed, that might be off the table. Any other endorsements? I'd be kind of iffy about it. So let's see. Dave said, why does everyone think he should be suspended when Gilbert Arenas took a weapon to work like Ja did and then was banned from the NBA? When Ja had 2 chances and screwed up, Arenas did not. Well, those are 2 different instances because Morant didn't bring it into the court or into the arena. His was at a strip club, and then this one was at a car. And I don't know if it was his or whatnot in the whole Indiana situation. That's still kind of murky for me. Also, too, Judge, just think about the Foot Locker incident, right, with his mother and the guy on the basketball court, all that stuff too. But Damian, the thing with Gilbert Arenas, they said they were going to shoot each other. they were going.
Yeah, that's a totally different situation.
Yeah, that is completely different. That is completely different.
And to Logan's point, like with this one with Ja happened. This is the off season. You know what I mean? Wasn't even at an NBA facility or nothing.
No, they said they were in a car. I don't know where, but they were just going somewhere. But once again, my point, just what's the point of carrying a gun around when you have boatloads of money? You can hire security like it's nothing. If you really need it, right? If you really need security, just hire the people, and just you gotta be smarter, man. Like we said before, kids are watching you. You know they don't want to see this.
And the thing is, if you want to carry a gun, that's fine. You want to carry a gun, that's fine. But be smart about it. You don't have to let everybody know that.
And that's it, right? Look, it's clear, it's adamantly clear that number one, Ja Morant, does not know how to handle a weapon. Number 2, he clearly has no respect for the weapon. And number 3, because of the first 2, he probably shouldn't be allowed to have a weapon. But that's just my personal viewpoints. My number 4 is, why does he have a weapon? Is somebody trying to kill him? Because he's just out there having a good time, chilling, smiling, and singing the rap videos. Why do you need a gun out in an open air? Like, what? John, you are not a thug. That's not what you came from. Stop trying to be something you're not. Number 1.
He's trying to go back to the hood.
Hey, number 1, your name is Clarence. You come from a good school, to quote Eminem from 8 Mile. But no, look, man, this dude, it's like this, Logan. Let me paint a picture for you. If I'm a drunk and you pull me out of a bar and you send me to rehab to get cleaned up, and I come out as a cleaned up man and you throw me back in the bar, you don't expect me to be an alcoholic all over again?
You brought a good point.
It's the same damn thing. You take me out of these so-called gangster, whatever they think they are. You throw me into a rehab. You come out of the rehab. I go back to these people and you expect me to be different. No, nobody's going to expect him to be different unless somebody or himself demands different for what he is trying to be, which should be a good, upstanding citizen who has the NBA talent and use that talent to make money and then give some of that money back in charity to help out the less fortunate. That's what you should be doing. But, all right, I've said my piece. Enough about Ja freaking Morant.
Frankie, you got anything to say?
Oh, I'm sorry, Frankie. I apologize, man. I got all up into my own spillage. I'm sorry, Frankie. Frankie, man, Ja Morant, man, what's your thoughts on this?
I just laugh because it's really dumb, and I'm hearing what everybody's saying, and I don't take away from what any one of you guys say. I always agree with what you guys say. That's what us being a family is all about. But what I do gotta say is, I'm sick and tired of hearing people say that Ja Morant did rehab, he done treatment, he did this, he did that. He did it for 2 goddamn days. 2 goddamn
those
days.
mandatory days.
Everybody needs to realize that's not rehab. That's basically going and talking and getting a receipt to go back to Adam Silver and say, "Hey, look, this is what I did."
I went to rehab.
No, that's not how it works. So for Jay, for what you said, if you're drunk, we catch you in a bar, we take you out, we send you to rehab. You come back out, we go back to a bar. I guarantee that you won't get a drink because I guarantee Jay that you will do a full 30 days of rehab, not just 2. Just saying.
I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying.
I think what Ja is doing, and Logan, to your point, for one, you saying he's trying to go back to the hood. You can't go back to something that you never came from. Just want you to know that. I just want to say that. It's real true. It's honestly, it's true. Ja Morant never came from the hood. He's from the suburbs. Like, the man came from a wealthy family. So for him to go down to the level of where he's at right now, being in Memphis Grizzlies, getting his endorsement deals, getting the big checks for playing in the NBA and stuff like that. You surround yourself by people that you shouldn't be surrounded by. I mean, let's go back to Logan's point. I mean, you look at LeBron James, look at Kobe Bryant, look at all the other people like Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. For God's sake, Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, y'all. Like, if these I don't want to curse. If these guys didn't do that, why in the hell is Ja Morant doing it? You're in the NBA today for those people that played in the past. Now that you're in the NBA, you're supposed to be an inspiration for the people of the future. And you're not doing it the right way. And I'm sorry to say this, I don't want this man to be suspended. I really don't. Because what's more scarier? Him being suspended and us seeing more videos go viral of him holding a gun and anything like that, or him being on the court playing and us just seeing a gun video or something like that, like every other couple months or something like that. I mean, I don't want to see the man suspended for a full year because I think we will see the worst out of him if he's suspended for a full year. I think maybe a half a season will be a legitimate suspension. But for a full year, I think that would be insane because I guarantee that we will see Ja Morant continue these actions if this man is suspended for a whole year.
Yeah, and to Frankie's point, a suspension is, I'm sure, pending. There is no concrete how long it will be. Like I said, some speculate a whole season, some speculate half a season, some speculate maybe a little less than half. Let's see, Damian brought up again. Let's see here. His thing is Gilbert did threaten to kill someone, but that was one incident. Ja had more offense than Gilbert. Plus, Gilbert didn't wave a gun in front of a child. What was this? You guys have any idea what that?
He's talking about that 17-year-old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Okay.
He
I thought
didn't
that
wave
was...
it. He didn't wave
Okay.
it, Damian. What happened is he showed it. It was on his hip, and he pulled his shirt up, and he visually, he showed the kid what he had on his hip.
Okay.
He didn't. It's not like he pulled it out and he waved it all around. Like Damian seeming like, yo, Ja Morant pulled this shit out his weapon and he pointed to his face. Hey, yo, shut your mouth, Luke, kid. Like, nah, he ain't do that.
It wasn't like that. And then Billy brings a good point. He said, watched Aaron Hernandez grow up playing high school football and then college. Surrounded himself around some bad people. He had it made out in Bristol.
Yo, don't be disrespecting Aaron Hernandez. Don't be doing that. The man had a rough life.
So we're gonna move away from Ja now. Ja, I wish you the best, and I hope you turn your life around. Ultimately, I just hope you find a better group of people that actually care about you and not just trying to live through you. Monty Williams fired. Rivers fired. Wow. Let's start off with Monty Williams, man. 4 seasons, very productive seasons. Honestly, I mean, I know it didn't get them what they were looking for, but Monty has been there. Suns were blown out, as you know, during elimination loss to the Denver Nuggets. My thing with this, I felt like the general manager did not want Monty Williams to go. When he had to deliver the message that Ishbia told him he had to do, he didn't want to do it. He said, "It's the hardest damn decision I've ever had to do," because he doesn't want to do it. He knows it's not the right call. But when Ishbia bought that team, he already knew he didn't want Monty Williams as his head coach. and that's how I know. I know damn good and well. Monty Williams had probably very little say-so in the trade that brought in Kevin Durant and basically gutted most of the bench that they needed. And I have 100% hunch that that's all Ishbia. That's his doing. All the draft picks, all the people he gave up to bring in sorry-ass bum KD. And I'll be honest with you. I'll play both sides of the fence. KD didn't play bad. He actually played good. The problem is they had nothing in the reserve tank to give him a break and produce in the other areas. And that's the problem with the Phoenix Suns. It's like you got two legs, but you got no legs. You can't. The arms can only take you crawling so long before they give out. The fall of the Phoenix Suns this season was not Monty Williams. The fall of this season was straight up all about Ishbia making the wrong decisions and then using Monty Williams as a scapegoat because he didn't want him there in the first damn place. What a time to be alive. Gonzo, Monty Williams firing, man. Number one, do you think it was just? And number two, what team do you think most likely will land him?
I was a little surprised that he got fired, but also I wasn't, because when you get a new owner, you get a new owner, new GM, which they had the same GM, but you get a new owner like that, they're going to want to bring in their guys. I think what hurt Monty was the way they lost. Because I agree with what you're saying. They didn't set them up for success by trading away everybody. So when they made that trade, I think next year they'll be better than this year. But when you get beat by blown out like that in 2 straight elimination games, I think that's hard to come back from. The biggest thing, he got fired because the owner wanted to make a change. I think you could see him maybe in Philadelphia. They just got rid of Doc Rivers. So you can, I think you can maybe see him in Philadelphia, or maybe even a team like the Milwaukee Bucks as well. I mean, he's shown that he can win. He hasn't won a championship, but he's shown he can get to the playoffs, and he's been able to be around some of them bigger star players and make it work to a point. So I think he'll get another chance somewhere. But I think this was more of like kind of what Jay said. You had a new owner; he wanted to bring in his guy. But when you lose 2 games the way they lost him, 2 elimination games, it's hard to come back from. Kind of like the same thing with Doc Rivers. I figured he'd be gone. When you lose an elimination game like that, it leaves a sour taste. And if you don't make it past the first couple of days, you're probably getting fired. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's Logan, I don't know how you looked at that, but I mean, he still had 3 years at $20 million that was left on his contract. This guy in no way deserved to be fired. But again, before you go, number one, Mickey Delaney, I appreciate the comment, man. And again, you guys gave us everything you had, and you guys didn't lay down one bit, and you went down fighting. And again, much love and appreciation for those Seattle Kraken. But Gonzo, real quick, what team do you think chooses Monty Williams as their new head coach?
He already said it. Do you mean Logan because he's about to leave?
No, I meant Logan. I'm sorry. If I said Gonzo, I apologize.
You good?
Logan, I meant to say you. I'm sorry.
You good, man? Yeah, I was surprised by this move. Like you said, he's got a couple years left, but Chris brought up a good point. Once new ownership takes over, more than likely that means everything gets changed for the most part. I mean, once Ishbia took over, that's when they got Durant, and now they're going to get a new head coach. I think Monty Williams will be a coach this upcoming season. Couple teams, just thinking off the top of my head here. Milwaukee, I know they need a coach. I think that'd be a great fit. Goes right to a winner. And this is, I think it's based on him. If he wants to maybe go with a younger group of guys, you can go with maybe Detroit. They have a lot of young guys on that team. And I know they're looking for a head coach too. So, I mean, you got a few options, but I think Milwaukee would be a good fit for him, really. And get him with Giannis, get him with a solid roster, hopefully healthy. And I think he could do some good work. But yeah, I was shocked by this move. I was not expecting Williams to get fired. He's had good success in Phoenix, and I mean, God knows they needed that for many, many years.
Absolutely. Before I get on to Frankie Logan, I know you're short on time because you do have to get up early in the morning to actually go provide money for your rent for your apartment. I don't want you getting evicted because you lost your job. So if you need to take off and go to sleep, much love.
All right, sounds good, guys. Close out strong, and I will talk to you all on Thursday.
All right, be good, brother.
All right, see you guys.
All right.
See you.
Frankie, man, jeez Louise, man, Monty Williams. Where do you see him going? And was it right that he got fired?
No, I don't think it was right for him. Hold on, I'm got the water running. I don't think it's right that he got fired. I feel like it was way too soon. This is a guy who was literally in the finals a couple of years ago. Been in the playoffs since he became a head coach for the Phoenix Suns. Like I don't think he's missed a playoff yet. Like we all agree on, it comes down to the new ownership. Obviously, when the new ownership came in, we all knew that things were going to change. I even said that it was going to, things were going to change because, you trade away basically everyone on your bench and a couple of four first round picks to bring in someone like KD, which was absolutely bonkers to me. I feel like that was just dumb. It's the most stupidest trade you can ever make is sending someone 4 first round draft picks for KD. That's utterly ridiculous. But I feel like it was just way too soon, man. And I don't want to blame it all on Monty Williams for the, their lack of success these past 2 playoffs. One against, Luka and now against Denver. I mean, let's be realistic here. Chris Paul was hurt. Chris Paul tore his groin. Devin Booker did everything he can until the moment he met Denver Nuggets. KD, listen, everybody want to say he had a good, a good series and stuff like that. Not really. Not really. Look at his shooting percentages. Look at the comparisons of making shots and taking shots. Yeah, he gets you 30 points, but most of it is free throws. The man's shots are off. KD is off. He didn't play very great. And if you watch First Take and stuff like that, I'm not the only one. You can see Stephen A. Smith. You can see Kendrick Perkins. You can even see JJ Redick. All of them will agree with me. They will tell you KD did not have a very good performance in this year's playoff. Most of his points came from the line. The man's shooting percentage was straight ass. Straight ass. So, I mean, I don't want to blame it on Monty Williams. I'm going to blame it on everybody else around him. The man literally, like Jay said, I put money on it. Monty Williams was in disagreement when they decided to get Kevin Durant because they knew what they had to give up. And Monty Williams knew giving up a bench would be really, really ridiculous just to bring in one star player as a starter because you need that bench to help you out in a moment like this. And they didn't have bench. They didn't. And Chris has been, and I stand by Chris, and me and Chris has been, saying this for a while. The Phoenix Suns were not good in depth. They didn't have no bench, and this was going to come back to hurt them. It just so happened that they had to meet the Denver Nuggets. I mean, you mean that the Denver Nuggets with no bench, that's basically just throwing in a rabbit to the wolves, basically. So I feel bad for Monty Williams. I feel like it was too soon. The team I think that he could, have success with, there's multiple teams. I wouldn't mind seeing him in Milwaukee and, coaching Giannis, one of the greatest players today. You can even go to Toronto, help out some young bucks over there and in Toronto. Or like Chris said, we wouldn't be surprised if the man goes to Philly. He's already a candidate to get interviewed by Philly. And this is a man who just got fired basically like 2 days ago on Mother's Day, if I'm not mistaken. The man got fired on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
How disrespectful is that?
The only thing that would have been more disrespectful is he got fired on Father's Day, I guess.
But
the Bucks fired Budenholzer just a few days after his brother passed away in a car accident that he kept coaching. He kept coaching in the playoffs through, and didn't.
The whole Milwaukee and Budenholzer, that's bullshit in my opinion. But that's a conversation for a different day on how Milwaukee handled that situation. But I'm right there with you, Chris. It's disgusting a little bit, honestly. I got Monty Williams going to Toronto. I think he goes to Toronto. I think he can relate with that young group they got out there, and I think he can build that team back up to where they were. Monty Williams does a really good job scouting and putting his insights in. So I got Monty Williams for those reasons. I got to go into Toronto. I got Budenholzer going to Philly, which we're going to move into that conversation now about Doc Rivers getting fired from there. But I got Budenholzer being, in my opinion, the best candidate for that team. And the reason why I say that is Budenholzer just got through with Giannis. He's going to a very similar player in Embiid. What better guy what better guy to go to a situation where you already have similar big men, that you can translate into. So I think Budenholzer would be the natural transition for Embiid's continued growth and development as he goes throughout his career. I got Budenholzer for that. But Doc Rivers, man, wow. I don't know how y'all feel about it. Gonzo, I'm going to start with you first. I think Doc Rivers, it's time. It had been time. It was time when he was with the Clippers, in my opinion. We all know how great – and me and Frank have had long, in-depth conversations about Rivers. The guy's a great regular season coach. Nobody's going to take that away from him. But he just can't make the right adjustments, especially once the heat is applied. And the heat is always applied in the playoffs. That's when the best basketball is playing. So in the best basketball atmospheres, Doc Rivers just simply cannot get the job done. 10 Game 7 losses, 5 Game 7 losses in a row sets an NBA historical record for Game 7 losses, statistically speaking. So that just kind of tells you if he set an NBA record for a record that no coach would ever want to have, it just tells you that he's antiquated, he's outdated, and it's just time for him to go on, in my opinion, to greener pastures, maybe an executive role, a GM role, an advisement role, whatever, anything other than just being a head coach. I think those days are past him. But I'm curious to see what you guys think. Gonzo, you're the fresh guy on the meet, so I want to get you first on this because me and Frank have had long discussions about this. So I need a fresh perspective on what do you think about this, man? Rivers being fired.
It didn't surprise me. I thought he was going to get fired last year after they basically the same thing happened. Like you said, he's lost 5 Game 7s in a row, and if I remember correctly, he's lost like 7 more Game 7s than any other coach in the history of the NBA. So I mean, it isn't like he hasn't had plenty of opportunities to be able to close out a series, and he keeps coming up short. So it didn't surprise me. I don't know if he'll get another opportunity. I don't think he'll get another opportunity next year. But I wouldn't be surprised if he don't get another opportunity here in a couple of years, maybe with a young team or something. But I don't see none of these championship contending teams going after him here in the next year or two. So I think if he does get back in the league as a coach, it's probably going to be one of these younger teams, and he's going to have to show that he can help build a team up and maybe get in that way. But he can't close out series. Like you said, with the Clippers, how many times did they have a 3-2 lead going into Game 7 and lose? And now you've lost 3 in a row with the Sixers. And with the talent the Sixers have, I mean, to me, it was time for them to move on and try to find somebody that they think can get that talent to the next level. Because they didn't perform at all. That was another – I mean, that game was over before halftime.
Can I say something?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Frankie?
Jason had a lot to do with that, the way he played that game. But that game was over quick.
I'm gonna get off topic for a minute. I just want to say something. New York Yankees. Brian Cashman, Mr. Steinberg, get Domingo Germán off of our team. We do not need this son of a bitch. Excuse my language.
Wait, this is a guy you love, though.
No, I do not.
You love that guy.
Stop. You know I don't love Domingo Germán. Stop it. But I think we need him off our team, and this is the reason why. Domingo Germán just got ejected for using illegal substance. I'm looking at it, and it's clear as day. And I'm a man. You know, I give Jay his shit for 2017, and Jay knows that. I'm the far from being biased on straight up on my team. Like when I see something that I don't like, I call it out on them. And it's clear as day. Domingo Germán was using something sticky because his hands was on his waist, and his waist ended up looking black, guys. He has some sticky tar on his hands. Domingo Germán is gonna look to getting a 10-game suspension. But I think that the New York Yankees need to either trade this man away or cut this man or at least send him down to the minors, because let me tell you something. I hate cheaters. I hate cheaters. And for you to be rocking the New York Yankee hat and rocking the pinstripes and stuff like that, there's no need for you to use that. When you're using that, you're basically saying you're trash. You're not a good pitcher. Like, it's ridiculous that you had to even use that. It pisses me off, and it's honestly, it's sad right now to be a Yankee fan and sit here and watch this go down, because we were dealing with some controversy yesterday with Aaron Judge, and now dealing with this shit with Domingo Germán. We need to just get this man off the team, and I just wanted to point that out right here live on Unscripted in front of everybody, including Jay. This is ridiculous that Domingo Germán has done this.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, number 14 pick goes to New Orleans. Number 13 goes to Toronto. 12 is OKC. 11 is Orlando. 10 is Dallas. 9 is the Jazz. Number 8 is, I believe, the Wizards. I can't remember. Number 7 is the Pacers. Shh. Number 6 is Orlando.
Oh, the Pacers got the 7th. Chris, you got the 7th dress pick.
Get the 7th pick. Number 5 goes to the Pistons.
Jay, shush, you're ahead of me.
I can't help it. I'm just giving real-time information.
Just shush. Because I hope you get the number 3rd pick.
Shut up! Don't say that.
I hope you get the 2nd pick.
You know what? You know what, Frankie? I'm not going to say it. Hey, but again, so we do know that the Houston Rockets are still alive in contention for Victor Wembanyama.
Pistons were the favorite to get the number 1 pick, and they ended up with the 5th.
They got the 7th. Oh, the Pistons? Yeah, the Pistons, yeah.
Yeah, the Pistons, yeah. Wow. I don't know. We will see. But again, Frankie, I just got to be honest, man. Hey, look, nothing wrong with Dodd. I just think his time has come. But let me ask you this, Frankie. And we're going to close it out with this, and we're just going to wait here to see, because we're going to announce the number 1 pick here on the show. So we're going to wait. But while we have a little bit of intermission time, where do you see Doc Rivers landing at this point? Where does he land? What becomes of Doc?
I don't think Doc Rivers gets the job next year. Honestly, I don't think, just because of his playoff resume, I don't feel like all these teams are going to be like, well, I don't want to have a good season, and then we get to the playoffs and this man can't. Oh, excuse me. This man can't win a 7-game series in the playoff. I don't want to get this man in our team and then have to worry about him blowing a 3-1 lead or a 3-2 lead. I don't think a team is gonna look at that. I feel like he's gonna have a year off. There's a lot of candidates out there. Hell, we're seeing that the Toronto Raptors are looking to potentially interview JJ Redick. This is JJ Redick, the JJ Redick who literally retired a couple of years ago, and he's already a candidate to getting a job. Doc Rivers need to take some time off. He need to, get his mind straight, get back into his groove and into his rhythm, and seeing that he can, be a good coach again. I feel like he's gonna be the next Mike D'Antoni, Jay. Honestly, I feel like he's gonna be the next Mike D'Antoni. And Chris, I love your picture, by the way.
Yeah. So Frankie says he doesn't see him having a job. I personally don't think Doc Williams has a job. But Chris, where do you see Doc next year? Do you think he gets a job, or is he riding the pine in waiting status until maybe another year?
No, I don't think he coaches anywhere next season. I think he'll be out at least a year or two, and if he does get back in, I think it's going to be with a young team. He's going to have to show that he can kind of rebuild his reputation up.
Houston.
Hey, one last question too. Let me ask you guys one last thing. Nick Nurse still, I don't think, has landed with the team. Does he land with any one of these teams, or does he not get a calling somewhere?
I've heard today. These are some of the potential names that I've heard for the Philadelphia 76ers. You got Nick Nurse. You have Mike D'Antoni. You have Monty Williams. You have the coach that was just the coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know his last name. It's really hard. And there's one more I can't name.
So let me ask you this. So do you think Nick Nurse lands a job next season? I mean, there's a lot of candidates out there, and there's only a few jobs. Does again, you got what? You got Monty, Budenholzer, Nick Nurse. Do one of those guys, does Nick Nurse land a spot somewhere?
Yeah, I think Nick Nurse will end up with a job. I think he'll either be with Toronto or probably the 76ers. Probably.
Because it would be Toronto. Nick Nurse just came from Toronto.
Oh, no, not Toronto. My bad. Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee. Okay.
He'll either go to Milwaukee or he'll probably go to Philly. But Philly has a really long candidate list. And this is something that you shouldn't rush. I mean, I understand you're going to need a head coach and stuff like that to get in there and get ready.
Yeah, you don't want to rush it.
Don't rush it. You have a very, very long offseason. You have it till the middle, towards the end of October to start, to get ready for that. So don't take your time and interview these coaches really well because, Philadelphia, you guys haven't been to a finals in a while, and you guys haven't actually went to the Eastern Conference final in a long time. So take time to interview these coaches and be smart about it too. And there goes Ian Hamilton. There goes an injured player, guys, for the freaking Yankees. All right, I'm changing it. I'm going back to ESPN. I'm watching the draft.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you.
Hey, Frankie, what's the score of that Yankees game?
2-0 Yankees.
And hey, you guys are playing Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're
doing pretty good to keep beating Toronto. We love that.
What'd you say, Chris?
All right.
I took the Yankees on the
nice.
On my sports betting show. That's why I was asking. So right now I'm looking pretty good.
I told you, Jay. I told you wasn't going to get the first pick. You got the number 4th pick. Oh my God! What a shit! I swear to God, if Chicago gets the number 1 pick, I'm gonna be pissed.
Nah, Chicago. I bet it'll be the Spurs. It'll be the Spurs that get it. The Spurs will get the number 1 pick. Watch. I'm calling it. They say, "Fucking Spurs get Wembanyama." Fuck them. I hate it. I'm moving to San Antonio. I don't care.
It's gonna be the Hornets.
Nah, the Hornets have the 2nd pick.
Spurs got it.
Oh, Spurs got the number 1
Spurs
pick.
Spurs got it.
Victor Wembanyama, y'all, going to San Antonio to be coached by Greg Popovich. Or did he retire? Did he announce retirement yet?
No, I don't think so.
Wow, Victor Wembanyama about to get coached by Greg Popovich. Oh, my God.
I will say this. Let me say this. It hurts my heart and my soul, and I'm about to literally go crack open that pint and just waste away my sorrows tonight.
Give him a solo shot.
Please do. But I will say this. From a player development aspect, from a guy that took Tim Duncan, David Robinson, for a guy that developed those 2 guys, Victor Wembanyama honestly could not have probably gone to a better situation. I think Udaka probably would have done well with Victor. Don't get me wrong, but Pop, dude, to have Pop coach you, I'm just saying, man, that's big. That is big. So I think he went to a great situation. I hate the Spurs, but I am happy for Vic because, like I said, for him personally as a career, Popovich is probably the best head coach that can develop him into the center that he needs to be. And if he's smart, if Victor is smart, I will tell you, Victor, I hope you're listening to me. Hakeem Olajuwon lives in Houston, or he has a house in Houston. You need to go visit him because I think a combination of Popovich and a combination of Olajuwon and his finesse, and he's built a lot like a Wembanyama, a finesse guy, but also has shooting skills, dunking skills, things like that. And Olajuwon has trained a lot of people. I would get Olajuwon, and I would have Olajuwon come train you and have Popovich be your head coach. And I think you could turn into something pretty freaking magical. But we'll see. Again, I hate the Spurs, but it is a good situation for Vic. I got to be honest with you. All right, we're going to get to some final thoughts. I'm going to go drink a pint, and hopefully I don't drunk test, but I'm going to hide my phone.
What's real funny, though? Besides Jay getting the 4th overall pick and not the 1st, and actually being the worst team in the NBA this year, or was it the Detroit Pistons? Either or, he was in the bottom, too. But, to have the 4th pick, that's not fun. I mean, it is kind of funny, but that's not the funniest thing. The other funniest thing is our boy Mike Hughes isn't even in the top 14 of the draft this year. So how more worse can the Chicago Bulls get next year?
Hey, but I will say this: if there's a silver lining to it all, it does make me say, you know what? Okay, Vic was out of. It just didn't happen. Now I can move on from Victor. I've got to. I'm going to move on from Victor. I'm going to be happy that we got a good head coach in Udaka. I am happy that we got at least a number 4 pick. Hopefully, Udaka will make the right choice, and we'll go from there. It sucks. I really wanted Victor pretty bad, but it's okay. We will move on. It's time to move on. Now we're going to look to free agents. We're going to look to the development of our core. Maybe we add a 4th guy. We'll see what happens, but it is time to move on. And at the end of the day, we're going to move on. We're going to take it before we'll move on.
And it sucks too because this year's draft isn't a deep draft. So once you get past the first few picks, it's not like there's a lot of top level talent in this year's draft.
Bro, you had Victor Wembanyama, you had Scoot Henderson. There's one other dude in there, but I can't remember his name. I mean, it's just not. It's like you said, it's not a deep class at all.
Oh, so, now it's not a deep class because the Houston.
No, it's not. No, for real, Frankie. Why do you think I wanted Victor so bad? Because I knew. I'm just glad at least we got a number 4 pick. I know there's at least 4 good guys, but it's really not.
You know who they're going to take now? Houston's going to end up with Jay's other favorite player, Miller from Alabama.
Oh, look, man. You should.
Okay, folks. It's been nice. It's been real. No, I'm kidding. Frankie, I'm going to give your final thoughts, and then Chris, you give yours, and then we're going to get up on out of here. We're going to go watch some Lakers because your Lakers are just about to come on. So let's get to some final thoughts. Frankie, lead us. Since it's your team playing tonight, I want to give you max time. Whatever you want to say, go.
AD about to go off. Joker's not getting a triple-double, and just for that is because of AD. Joker had 2 easy teams that he had to go up against. 2, you had DeAndre Ayton who didn't show up, and I don't even know who the hell is the center for the Clippers. Or I'm sorry, they had to face Minnesota. So you had Cat over there, and he didn't, show up as well because they got eliminated quick. But you had Rudy Gobert as well. They had Rudy Gobert. So, like, Victor, look at me. I'm about to talk about Victor Wembanyama. God damn it. Joker had 2 easy centers he had to go up against. So AD about to shut that down. He's not gonna make sure the Joker gets a triple-double. Not today, not tonight. Not in this series. I can't wait, baby. Lakers get that win tonight. Let's go, Lakers. Let's get this in I want to say 6. I'm gonna say 6. I'm gonna stick with it, and I'm gonna say 6. But other than that, I'm just gonna say go Yankees. Fuck you, Domingo Herman. I hope you get suspended. I hope and I hope the Yankees fire you soon, or at least trade you, because we don't need your bullshit and cheating ass and our team. But yeah, that's my final thought.
Before Gonzo, before you go, Frankie, make sure we're getting all this stuff. I know you are because you're already ahead of the game, but make sure we're getting all this crazy stuff that's happening out on Twitter.
Yeah, I will.
What a time to be alive. Gonzo, final thoughts, baby.
We're just ready for a good basketball game. Also, if you missed our pro wrestling show from Saturday night, the Bearcat Rumble 3, go check it out. There was four steel cage matches. One of them was the micro wrestlers in the steel cage. That was pretty cool. So go check that out at YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. And on Thursday before Unscripted from 6 to 7. Come join us for GWR. We didn't do it Monday night because I was sick. So we're going to do it tomorrow. We're going to do it Thursday at 6 from 6 to 7. Then come and jump over and watch Unscripted with us. But so Thursday we'll have GWR from 6 to 7.
Also before Logan left, he did mention that Jamal Murray was questionable. It just came out that Jamal Murray will be active on non-COVID illness. So I expect him to not be fully here tonight. I expect to see him get beat up also by our point guards. Let's go, Lakers!
What a time to be alive, man. Yeah, man. And make sure you're checking out all of Gonzo's stuff. You can pretty much find him anywhere that GSR is out there. All of his social platforms. Just look up GSR, Gonzo Sports Room. He's got a lot of good material out there. Also, here at Unscripted, we do want to say our condolences again to Nick Gilbert, the son of Mr. Gilbert, and correct me if I'm wrong, Frankie. They're the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's the Cleveland Cavaliers owner's son, right? Yeah. So Nick Gilbert, we want to say to the family of the Gilberts, our condolences. He passed away this year, obviously recently, and due to an illness he's been battling ever since I think he's been born. So again, our hearts and our condolences go out to the Gilbert family, and rest in peace, Nick Gilbert. All right, folks. Hey, make sure you check us out on all of our social media platforms. Again, Frankie does a good job over there. Unscripted Guys, all one word on Twitter. Logan does a good job on our TikTok, Unscripted Sports, all one word. YouTube, Unscripted Sports, all one word. And then Unscripted on Facebook, man. Make sure you give us a shout out, give us a look-see. And yeah, man, what a time to be alive, man. I'm going to go drown my sorrows in a pint that I got the number 4 pick. And until Thursday, we will be back. I only have one thing to say to Lake Show Frankie. Go Lakers.